Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Nope. Don't you hate that? Boy, I do. And it happens all the time, especially now since North Carolina was blasted with Hurricane Helene. Our cell phone signal is few and far between, and so we are hoping that the HiBoost Explorer 3.0 X is going to help us out. All right, so we're going to get this thing unboxed, and I'll go ahead and pre-warn you that this is going to be a little different than most. And the reason I say that is because most videos that you watch with this, you're going to see people hooking it up permanently as part of their vehicle mounted solutions. Well, we have multiple Jeeps and we're in all different vehicles all the time. So we want this to be more mobile. So we're not actually going to be mounting it to the Jeep today. We're probably going to pick up a temporary mount like the Sea Sucker. But we're going to hook this up to our all-power battery today just to see what kind of boost it'll give us. And I'm actually going to show you the starting. Babe, can you get in here on my phone? So we're going to start with where we are now with our cell signal. And we have pretty crappy service here at home, so we're down at 2 bars. So the hope is that once we hook this thing up to the battery that we see more than 2 bars. And if we do, that's good enough for me. So this is a pretty cool system that you get here. You're going to get full mounting hardware for this antenna. They're going to give you hook and loop Velcro pads to fasten down your booster box and things like that. Again, we're not going to be using any of that, but it's nice that they send it. So this is the actual box, so you can see it doesn't take up a whole lot of space. And they've made the hookup super easy. You've got the indoor line and an outdoor line. So you know that the outdoor line is going to be your wire that runs up to your antenna outside of the car. And this is going to be your line that hooks into power inside of the car. So very, very easy. These are also rubber coated, so they're not sharp and they probably won't get hot. So that's kind of cool. This antenna is massive, guys. I guess when it comes to boosting, size matters. And so this is the tip of your antenna, and this is the cord that you'll use to hook it up. This is one of the shining stars of this new HiBoost 3.0 kit. The other kits don't have a mount like this. And so what's cool is you can pull this and fold that down. So if your antenna is hooked to that, you can fold it down when you're driving in the woods so that you don't clip the antenna on trees or branches or things like that. And then when you're ready to use it, you can set it up. So that's going to be great. You can mount this antenna to your flat molly panels, things like that. Or if you have a roof rack that has bars, you can clamp it onto the bars with this kit. Again, we're not going to use any of that today, but it is here for when you need it. And then the final piece, this is how you will power this device. So again, we're just going to be plugging it into our all-power battery here and using that as power. This is the internal antenna. The important thing about this antenna is that it actually needs to be pretty far away from this antenna. So you want this antenna kind of up and out, and this antenna closer to where you guys are going to be with the phones. So we'll have our antenna sitting back here somewhere. We'll have that inside the car. So the first thing we're going to do is hook up our antenna. The antenna is in like 3 separate pieces that you will need to assemble. So we're going to do that real quick. All right, so you have your long shaft, right, babe?
We need it long so that it can get the service way up there.
That's exactly why we need it long. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is untie our antenna cord. And it's just in here with some twisties. You can see the cord is capped, so we're just going to slide it down. That's probably it. Look at that. So you can't thread it through with the rubber on, folks. So once you get here, you can see you're just going to screw this in All right. You've got one more metal piece here because this antenna will actually thread into this spring. You want these springs on here because they also give it a little protection if you hit a branch.
A boing.
A boing, you know.
Gives it the boing factor.
So you've got this connector, and you can see it has a hole cut out. And that's because we're gonna thread the wire right through this hole. So it'll be just like this. So I'm gonna stick that in, and then I'm gonna run it straight out the side. And then I'm going to screw this in up here. And that's a pain in the butt because now you have wire that doesn't want to spin. So when you're trying to screw this one on, if this is already screwed in, it's damn near impossible. So I've unscrewed this end, and now I'm screwing this tip on. And once this tip is on, then I will go in and screw that back to the antenna. You just have a really hard time turning it if this one was already hooked up. So now, much better. Much better. It's a lot of threads, guys. A lot of threads.
A lot of spinning.
Now, and to be honest, on a lot of these, if you are hard mounting this outside the vehicle, it would not hurt to probably add some Loctite. Since we're going to be using this thing as a standalone unit, like if we're out in the trailer, we'll probably set this thing up inside our trailer. If we're out camping, the same. It'll probably be out here with us. But if you're going to hard mount it, and this is going to be on your car going 50, 60, 70 miles an hour, you could probably Loctite these. Now we need the boing. So, all right. So when it comes to the boing, so you do have a spacer here. You do want to put that on before you screw this down. So again, all of this stuff should probably be Loctited because some of it feels like it's pretty loose. So, and then this, super easy. You're just gonna screw this right in. And it's probably easier if you do it this way. I'm left-handed, so. All right, good. So like I said, eventually we're gonna get a sea-sucker mount. And what that is a suction cup mount that we can stick anywhere.
It's a vacuum pump.
It's a vacuum pump mount that you can stick anywhere. And we'll just stick it to the window, and then we'll pull this out, and we'll be able to set the antenna straight up just like that. So it'll stick to our side window. We can take that into either Jeep. We don't have that right now, so we're probably just going to sit this thing like this and fire it up and see what it does to our signal. So, but it's going to tell us everything we need to know as far as, does this work? Is it going to do what we need it to do? So, like I said, they keep it very, very easy. They just call it indoor and outdoor. So what's the outdoor? The outdoor is the antenna. So indoor is this little guy. This is your internal booster. Your cell boost is going to be within 15 to 20 feet of this is where your signal is going to be enhanced. So this is what will be in the car with you, or, you know, wherever we are. So I'm going to actually not even undo all this wire. These little wire coverings are good. So very, very small. We're just going to screw that on.
And that's going into the hole that says indoor for the indoor antenna.
Right. Like I said, super easy. So you can see the next button that it has is the DC in. So that is going to be your power coming from our battery or your cigarette lighter in your car. So that'll plug in there. So when we're ready, all we have to do is plug that in. So now the only connection that we are missing is our outdoor connection. So, and you can see they give you plenty of cord here So you probably have room to cover from your truck. If you're putting this on a truck, it would probably go from in the cab, be able to run it through your bed to wherever you wanted to mount this thing. So they do give you plenty of outdoor antenna to mount this where you need. Like I said, that's just not how we're doing it right now. All right, guys, so very self-explanatory. I'm gonna hook one of these to the machine and one of these to the antenna. So I'm gonna open these ends and see if there's any difference between the two. I don't think there will be. Nope, they look to be the same. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull off my outdoor cover. Screw that in. I mean, does it get any simpler? And guys, there are 2 apps on your cell phone that you can download, and it will actually help you determine the best distance to separate this antenna and this antenna to give you the best gain. This is not the channel for that. We're probably gonna fire this thing up, see what happens on our cell phone. That's how real world people are gonna use this. So that's how we're doing it. The last connection, we're gonna hook this to our antenna. So you can see, even if you only wanted to set this thing up temporarily, it's literally 3 connections, guys, and plugging it in. That's it. So it really doesn't get any simpler. So what I'm gonna do is plug this into the battery, and we will probably throw this internal antenna up into the back of the Jeep a little bit, just so we can get some separation. And I can't see to undo a twisty tie because I'm old and my eyes don't work. All right, so we are going to kick this thing up there. All right, guys, so we've got everything on. Hey, I do want to show you that this is also a little cool mount that they send. So if you're mounting this thing to your roll bar or to a roof rack, you can mount this here. When you fold your antenna down, it just sits in there, and that's a nice little holder to keep it tucked into and keep it from flopping around. So it's super cool that they think of all that. All right, so with that being said, you'll notice on the unit, there's no power button, right? So if you look on your lighter adapter, your power button is right there. And something else they do that's really, really cool, if you did want to leave this plugged into your car lighter while you were going, they still give you a USB here so you can still charge your cell phone. So it was good thinking on their part not to rob you of your accessory.
Of your space, yeah.
Yep. So, okay. So we're going to open this thing up and we're going to stick it in. And I don't know how to turn this battery on.
There you go. There you go.
All right, so we got DC on, and if you come over here, babe, you can see we got some lights flashing over here. We got 2 blue and a red. Here, does that help?
Yep. Okay, cool.
All right, so we got lights on. So something is happening. Now, the manual is here. So
Now you're gonna read a manual?
Well, I got to see what the lights mean. Because I'm just imagining that red is bad. We're just gonna look.
I imagine red is power and maybe blue is the signal.
I think you're just making stuff up.
I am.
All right, so when one of the alarms is flashing, that means that you're getting a slight loop back with the boost. So it helps if you put your antenna up higher. So as you can see, we have just stuck it up here and we're literally holding it there with a clamp, but it's working. But babe, come here and show them this. So now we've got all blue lights, which is better. So as far as what it's doing for my service, started my phone, and sure enough, I now have 3 bars of service. Now that doesn't seem like a huge jump to go from 2 bars to 3, but what it says in the instruction manual is sometimes you could have 5 bars but have a really, really low usable service. And I think we've been in areas like that before, that sometimes this boosted 2 bars will give you better usability than that fake number that you get. So I'm okay with it jumping up to 3 bars. I can see that it is doing what it's supposed to. Now, if I was in there closer to that antenna, I actually may get more bars because that antenna should be where we're close to. Oh wow, yeah. So once I got in here, once I got in here close to that, close to the antenna, it gave me 4 bars, and I also saw 5G pop up there for a second. So this is where you want to be. The further away from it you get, the worse your service will be. So I've got 4 big bars, and as we come back away from it, like I said, the range is about 15 feet. And you can see I've already lost 1, and it'll probably eventually go down to 2. But so you're sitting in there using it around that little magic box. I went from 2 bars to 4 bars, and it actually hit 5G at one point. So that's pretty impressive. So it's really going to help us when we're setting up in those areas that have very, very limited cell service. It's going to give us a little more peace of mind. So I think it's totally worth it. And how easy was that? Super. Yeah. So guys, when this system is running, you probably can't see it, but it is only using about 7 watts on this all-power battery. So you could use this thing for quite a while with even a small little 300-watt battery like this. So very, very low power consumption. And honestly, like, I'm super pumped now that I realize, at first when it was just 1 bar, I was like, eh. But when I got up there into the car and went to 5G versus 2 bars, that's a big deal, guys. So I can't wait to use this when we're off grid and really put it to the test. So that will be coming in some upcoming videos, but this was the basic unboxing. I really just wanted to show you how easy it is to hook up, you know, how base you can be with your mounting. We're using basically a damn potato chip bag clip to hold that on. But like I said, we're gonna get that sea-sucker mount, and it's gonna be a dream to transfer between either Jeep or someone else's vehicle or camper. So that's it. That is the HiBoost 3.0 Explorer X, a much more affordable option than the other brand out there that you know of. So definitely check them out. We do have a discount code that we'll put in the description below. I think that'll get you 15 or 20% off. So if you are interested in something like this, check that out, okay? Save yourself some cash and get boosted. We'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching, and let us know what you think of the HiBoost in the comments.